Please don't let the light fade. The voice drifted through the dusk like a trembling thread of sound. Captain Rowan Hale froze mid-step, boots sinking into soft desert sand as the whisper slid around him, too clear to be the wind, too close to be imagined. The twilight sky glowed in streaks of gold and red, painting the dunes with fatting warmth, yet the whisper carried a strange chill that brushed down his spine. Rowan steadied his breathing, listening. The desert had been silent for hours, but now it hummed, soft, rhythmic like a pulse beneath the surface. He took one step forward. The star is dying. We are running out of time. That second whisper shook him more than the first. Rowan tightened the strap of his pack and scanned the shifting dunes. His mission was supposed to be simple. Retrieve a lost beacon, return to base, accept a modest reward, and go home. Nothing dangerous, nothing mysterious. Yet everything around him felt wrong. A faint shimmer flickered beyond the next dune. He climbed quickly, sand sucking at his boots, the hum under his feet growing stronger. As he reached the ridge, the world below seemed to hold its breath. Two figures lay half-buried in glittering sand. Rowan stopped cold. Their hair shimmered like threads of moonlit silver. Their skin glowed faintly, traced with delicate lines of soft light that pulsed like distant stars. They looked human enough to understand, but alien enough to steal his breath entirely. One of them stirred, lifting her head with immense effort. Her eyes, deep, luminous violet, met Rowan. "Are you the human captain?" she whispered. "I am," Rowan answered, voice low but steady. "I was told this would be a simple retrieval mission. What happened to you?" The second figure pushed herself up slightly, shielding her sister with a trembling arm. "We were meant to find help, but everything changed before we arrived." A deep crack echoed across the sky. Rowan spun around. A glowing fissure split the horizon, pure violet, jagged, expanding slowly as if tearing open the fabric of the sky itself. No sound at first, just light. Then a low vibration rolled over the dunes, rattling Rowan's bones. "What is that?" he demanded. The weaker sister reached toward him with fragile fingers. "The sovereign star, our celestial guardian, it is breaking. If it falls, our world collapses. Everything dies." Rowan felt his chest tighten. This was no simple mission. This wasn't even a regular emergency. This was cosmic, unexpected, terrifying. "What do you need?" he asked. The stronger sister, her voice steadier, answered, "We must reach the core chamber. It is the only place where restoration is possible. But we were attacked, forced down, separated from our escort. We couldn't make it alone." The violet rift pulsed again, brighter, wider. The air shivered with heat and cold at the same time. Sand cracked underfoot. "We don't have long," the weaker one whispered. "Help us rise, please." Rowan looked at them, two luminous beings clearly fighting exhaustion, clearly desperate, clearly brave. His orders felt small. His original mission felt irrelevant. Humanity's spirit, the instinct to protect, to help, to rise when everything is falling, burned in his chest. He moved without hesitation. He knelt beside them and offered his arms. "I don't know what I'm stepping into," he said softly, "but you're not facing it alone." The desert wind suddenly spiraled around them, pulling glittering grains into glowing arcs. The fissure ripped wider, light spilling across the dunes like a rising star. "Rowan," the stronger sister gasped, gripping his shoulder. "Once the rift reaches this ground, we lose our path forever." "Then show me where to go," he replied, lifting both sisters with all the strength he had. The dunes trembled, the sky roared, and behind them the violet fracture surged forward, devouring the horizon. Rowan took his first step toward the unknown. Rowan staggered across the shifting sand as the two luminous sisters leaned against him, their weight light yet trembling with exhaustion. The air around them buzzed with a quiet resonance, like the distant hum of a dying engine. Every few steps, Rowan glanced back at the widening violet fissure swallowing the sky. It pulsed like a heartbeat, slow, heavy, ominous. "How far is this core chamber?" he asked, his breath hitching. "Beyond the ridge," the stronger sister replied. "My name is Lyra, and this is—" She tightened her grip around her sister's shoulders. "Can sense the star's pulse. She will guide us." Nodded weakly, raising a trembling hand toward a faint shimmer in the distance. "That way, but hurry. The star grows dimmer." Rowan felt sweat slide down his neck. It wasn't the heat. It was the pressure, an invisible weight in the air, like the world itself was bracing for collapse. A deep rumble rolled beneath their feet. Lyra stiffened. "The fracture is accelerating." Rowan glanced back again. The violet crack had grown twice as large, spreading jagged branches outward like claws. It no longer felt like just a tear in the sky. It felt alive, hungry, nearing them with a slow, inevitable crawl. "We'll make it," Rowan said, mostly to convince himself. "Just tell me what I'm walking into." Lyra inhaled shakily. "Our star, it is not like yours. It is intertwined with our people's. When it weakens, we weaken. When it breaks," her voice faltered. "Finish the thought in a whisper. We disappear." The words hit Rowan like a punch. He looked down at their glowing veins, pulsing faintly like tiny constellations beneath their skin. Their radiance flickered with each step, dimming in slow, painful intervals. "How long have you been stranded here?" Rowan asked. "Hours," Lyra replied, "but in our state hours cut deep." "And no one else came for you?" A shadow crossed her expression. "There were others, but they were taken." Rowan stiffened. "Taken by what?" Winced as a sudden tremor shook the sand. She reached out and touched Rowan's chest, her fingers cold, her voice barely audible. "We cannot speak its name here. It listens, even across worlds." That sent a chill straight through him. Before he could ask more, the wind howled sharply. Suddenly, the sand around them rippled in a circular pattern, like something enormous had disturbed it from below. Rowan tightened his grip on both sisters. "Tell me that's natural," he muttered. Lyra's eyes widened. "Keep moving. Whatever follows the star's fracture, it travels through vibration." That was all Rowan needed to hear. He pushed forward with renewed urgency, his muscles burning, his heartbeat drumming hard. The shimmer ahead grew brighter, a pale silver glow emerging from the dune like a buried doorway. His eyes lit faintly. "The entrance, it's waking." Rowan hurried toward it, but the ground suddenly shook violently. Sand erupted behind them in a spiraling plume, flung into the air as if something massive tore upward from beneath the surface. A low, guttural resonance rippled through the dunes. Rowan didn't look back. Some primal instinct screamed not to. He focused only on the glow, the sisters, the pounding in his chest. "Almost there," Lyra gasped. The shimmering structure rose fully now, an arch of smooth metallic stone etched with complex runes that pulsed like living circuitry. A faint hum vibrated through Rowan's bones as they neared it. Touched the side of the arch. Her fingers glowed, matching the runes. "It recognizes us." The archway split open with a soft, musical chime, like crystal struck gently. A beam of pale blue light spread across the sand, forming a path downward into a hidden chamber below. Rowan exhaled shakily. "Good, go, both of you." Lyra ushered inside first. Rowan followed, stepping onto the descending ramp as the rumbling intensified behind them. Just before the doorway sealed, Rowan risked one glance back. A massive shadow surged from the sand, shapeless, swirling, rising toward the sky like smoke given form. The fissure's violet glow reflected off its surface. He didn't know what it was, but it had been following them. The doorway sealed with a soft thrum, muffling the outside world, trapping them in an eerie silence. Rowan's heart pounded. "What," he whispered, "did I just bring myself into?" Looked at him with exhausted but grateful eyes. "Hope," she said softly. "You brought us hope." The ramp carried Rowan, Lyra, and deeper underground, illuminated only by the soft blue glow trailing along the walls. The air felt cooler here, calmer, but Rowan's pulse hadn't slowed. Above them, something massive had clawed at the dunes. He could still feel the echo of its presence vibrating faintly in his ribs. Clung to her sister, her glow flickering. Lyra's hand trembled as she guided her, but her eyes stayed sharp, scanning every corner of the passage like she expected danger from the shadows. Rowan forced himself to breathe steadily. "This chamber of yours, will it keep that thing out?" Lyra didn't answer immediately. She placed her palm along the wall, feeling the humming patterns beneath it. "If the chamber still remembers us, yes. If not." Her voice trailed off. Rowan didn't need the rest of the sentence to feel the weight of it. The ramp finally leveled out into a vast circular hall. Rowan's breath caught. The room seemed carved from a single piece of silver stone, polished so flawlessly that it reflected their forms like a dim mirror. Runes spiraled across the floor in glowing patterns, converging at a raised platform in the center. His eyes widened with aching relief. The pulse altar, it survived. Rowan helped her toward it. As they neared, the floor responded, each step lighting a new trail of symbols that flared like starlight beneath their feet. Lyra steadied and gave Rowan a grateful nod. "This chamber amplifies. Here, the star's energy can be channeled if we're strong enough." Rowan frowned. "Strong enough for what exactly?" Lifted her small glowing hand and pointed upward. "To reconnect the star's core. Its fracture tore through dimensions. The bond must be mended from both sides." Both sides. Rowan understood just enough to feel the danger in those words. Lyra guided onto the platform. Immediately, the runes brightened under their feet, winced as the glow beneath her pulsed, drawing faint strands of light from her skin. Rowan stepped closer, worry tightening his throat. "It's expected," she whispered. "The star needs part of our essence, but I will endure." Rowan looked to Lyra, and for the first time, he saw genuine fear flicker across her usually composed features. "She's weakening faster than I thought," Lyra murmured. "The fracture is accelerating the drain." Rowan clenched his fists. "Then tell me what to do. There has to be something." Lyra hesitated. For a moment her proud posture softened, revealing the weight she carried. "There is one thing, but it is dangerous for anyone who is not of our blood." Rowan stepped forward without hesitation. "Tell me." "The altar can amplify more than one," she explained. "A second anchor makes the connection stronger, but the force it draws could overwhelm a human. It may burn through your veins like fire." Rowan swallowed hard. "Will it help?" "Yes," Lyra answered without pause. "Then I'm doing it." He stepped onto the platform before she could argue. The moment his boots touched the etched stone, the runes beneath him lit violently, white-blue arcs racing outward like lightning. A sudden surge of energy shot up his legs, cold, sharp, electric. Rowan gasped, muscles locking, breath stalling. Lyra reached out, gripping his arm. "Steady your mind, breathe through it." Rowan forced a long exhale. The burning pain pulsed again, but beneath it was something else. A strange, powerful resonance, as if a distant heartbeat synced with his own. Lifted her head weakly. He matches the frequency. How is that possible?" Lyra stared at Rowan with astonishment and something else, something like hope. "Humans are rare in this way," she whispered. "You adapt." Before Rowan could respond, the entire chamber shook violently. A booming, distorted echo thundered through the stone walls. Rowan's head snapped up. "It's here, whatever followed us." The platform flared again, a brilliant wave of light shielding them. But cracks crawled across one wall as if something outside pressed against it. Lyra grabbed Rowan's hand, grounding him, strengthening the flow between them, closed her eyes and poured her remaining energy into the altar. The runes ignited. A beam of radiant silver shot upward, piercing the ceiling like a column of living light. Rowan felt the chamber tremble under the strain. The star heard them, but so did the thing hunting them. A final shudder spread through the hall, and a deep, resonant growl echoed from somewhere beyond the walls, closer than before. Opened her eyes, terrified. It found the chamber. Rowan braced himself as the temperature dropped and the lights flickered. "Then we stand together," he said. The ground rumbled in answer. The chamber dimmed as the tremor rolled through it, dust drifting from the high ceiling like falling stars. Rowan tightened his stance, bracing against the shaking floor as Lyra and pressed closer to the altar's glow. The beam of silver light above them flickered, then steadied, fragile but alive. A deep vibration pulsed from beyond the stone walls, not loud but heavy enough to rattle Rowan's bones. Something vast moved outside, searching, sensing, learning the shape of their fear. Clutched her chest, her glow failing for a moment before stabilizing. "It grows stronger the more the star weakens," she whispered. "It feeds on unraveling worlds." Rowan swallowed the unease rising in him. "So it's not just chasing you, it's waiting for your world to collapse." Lyra nodded gravely. "When a star dies, everything tied to it becomes exposed, vulnerable, the smell that vulnerability like a storm approaching." Rowan wished he didn't feel the chill that crawled up his neck at the name. The platform pulsed again beneath their feet, forcing his attention back to the task at hand. The energy flowing into him surged harsher than before, burning with a deeper resonance that nearly dragged him to his knees. "Hold steady," Lyra urged, tightening her grip on his arm. "The altar is linking us. It must believe we are capable of restoring the bond." Rowan forced a breath through clenched teeth. His vision blurred for a moment, then sharpened as the rhythm of light under his skin synced with the altar. He felt warmth spread through his chest, then out through his arms, like a heartbeat that wasn't entirely his own. Lifted her weak hand, reaching toward him. "Your strength, it stabilizes me." Her voice cracked. "Thank you." Rowan nodded through the ache. "Just tell me when to push harder." Lyra managed a faint smile. "You already are." A sudden crack tore through the chamber wall like a lightning strike. Silver stone splintered. The lights flickered violently. Rowan spun toward the sound. A long fracture streaked across the curved surface, too fast, too sharp. Something pressed against the crack from the other side, making the stone bulge inward like soft clay. Gasped, it found a weak point. The wall shuddered. A black tendril, smoky, shifting, almost liquid, slipped through a hairline gap. It coiled slowly, tasting the air. A faint hiss echoed through the chamber. Rowan felt instinct tighten every muscle. "Lyra, tell me that's not the—" Lyra's voice trembled. "Not all of it, just a piece, but that is enough." The tendril extended farther, touching the floor, melting a line across the glowing runes. The entire altar shivered violently, its pulse faltering. Cried out and collapsed to her knees as her glow guttered. Lyra dropped beside her, panic flaring in her voice. Rowan stepped forward instinctively, positioning himself between the tendril and the sisters. The air felt colder the closer he stood. He could hear something like a faint whisper inside the tendril, hundreds of whispers layered atop each other, pulling at the edges of his thoughts. "Stay back," Rowan said through gritted teeth. "I'll hold it off." Lyra looked up at him with wide eyes. "Rowan, that thing cannot be fought as you fight a creature. It dissolves what it touches. It drains will." "Then I'll make sure it doesn't touch anyone," he said, voice sharp with resolve. The tendril whipped suddenly, striking toward Rowan like a dark spear. He dodged, sandaled boots sliding across the glowing platform. The crack widened, more tendrils pushing through, writhing eagerly. The altar dimmed again, struggled to breathe. "We're losing the connection," she gasped. "The star is slipping." Rowan felt something rise inside him, a fierce, human surge of defiance. He stepped back onto the platform beside them and thrust his hands toward the beam of silver light. I can push more, he said. Lyra grabbed his shoulders. If you push more, the energy might burn through you. Better me than your world, Rowan replied. For a heartbeat, silence filled the chamber. Looked up at him with fragile, shimmering eyes. Rowan, you don't know what that sacrifice would mean. He steadied his breath. Then trust me to make it anyway. Another violent rumble shook the chamber as the tendrils smashed against the wall. Rowan closed his eyes and pushed. The altar erupted with blinding light. Light exploded from the altar in a sharp burst, flooding the chamber with radiance so bright Rowan felt it burn behind his eyelids. The tendrils screeched, a sound without breath, without shape, more like metal grinding against broken stone, before recoiling violently from the crack in the wall. Rowan staggered, nearly collapsing, as the energy tore through him like a storm made of fire and ice. His hands shook uncontrollably. His legs buckled, but he stayed upright, forcing every breath through the torment of the altar's power. Lyra reached to steady him. Rowan, stop, you're pushing too much. He only shook his head, unable to form words. The light pulsed through him again, this time more directed, more focused, like the altar itself understood his intention. Sparks of silver glimmered along his skin, moving with the rhythm of a heartbeat that felt both foreign and his own. Rose slowly, holding the beam with her frail hands. Her glow returned, brighter now, woven with streaks of silver that mirrored Rowan's. She inhaled shakily. It's working, I can feel the star pulling back. Lyra watched the fissure closing slightly in the far edge of the ceiling where the beam extended upward. Her breath shuddered with awe. He's actually reinforcing the conduit. The chamber trembled again, but this time not in warning. This time, the floor pulsed with harmony, as though the room itself sang with newfound strength. But the reprieve lasted only seconds. A deafening crack split the air as the fractured wall burst outward, chunks of stone flying inward. Rowan threw an arm in front of Lyra on instinct, shielding her. Dust clouded the room, and through the haze surged a shadow, tall, shifting, coiling like a creature made of living smoke. Its form was vaguely humanoid but fluid, as if sculpted from night and constantly changing. Its eyes, if they were eyes, glowed with violet fire. The had entered, cried out as the beam flickered dangerously. Lyra clutched her sister, terror flashing through her luminous eyes. Rowan, if it reaches the altar. I won't let it, Rowan growled. He stepped forward, legs shaking under the weight of energy and exhaustion. The Satention snapped toward him, its form rippling like water disturbed by a stone. It recoiled for a brief instant, as if surprised by the glow radiating from Rowan's skin. Rowan didn't hesitate. He lunged forward, swinging his arm in a wide defensive arc. A streak of silver light burst from his movement, slicing through the air and forcing the back a few steps. It hissed, a low, shrill, wrong sound that scraped inside Rowan's skull. Lyra inhaled sharply. He's channeling the altar directly, impossible. Not impossible, whispered, eyes widening. He's human, humans adapt. The responded with a surge of its own. It stretched its shadowy arm toward Rowan, forming razor-thin edges like obsidian blades. Rowan dodged left, then back, every movement sending shockwaves of pain down his spine. His vision blurred, but he kept going. He struck again, and another flash of silver cut through the creature's smoke-like body, momentarily dispersing its form. But it reformed instantly, and this time it lunged at him with horrifying speed. Rowan wasn't fast enough. The creature's tendril scraped across his arm, burning a cold line of pain along his skin. He stumbled backward, teeth clenched, breath punched from his chest. Lyra cried out, "Rowan!" "I'm fine," he lied through a grimace. The shifted, readying another strike, this one aimed at. Rowan's heart lurched. The creature darted forward. Rowan didn't think, he didn't plan, he simply moved. He threw himself between and the just as the creature's limb lashed out. The blow hit Rowan square in the chest, knocking him onto the glowing platform. A surge of dark energy tore through him, stealing the air from his lungs. Screamed his name. Rowan gasped, fighting consciousness, fighting the cold spreading through him. But as he collapsed on the altar, something unexpected happened. The altar responded. Silver light erupted beneath Rowan's body, spreading across the platform like a star being reborn. The energy coursed through him, not burning now, but unifying, stabilizing, strengthening. His eyes widened as he felt it. The altar wasn't draining him. It was choosing him. The recoiled again, its form unraveling in shuddering waves as the light intensified. Lyra's voice trembled. "Rowan, what are you becoming?" Stared at him with both fear and wonder. "He's becoming a bridge between worlds." Silver flames spiraled around Rowan as he slowly pushed himself upright, glowing brighter than ever. The hissed and shrank away from the radiance. Rowan met its burning violet gaze and whispered, voice steady. "Not this world, not today." The recoiled from Rowan's radiance, its shadowy form shrinking as if the light stripped layers from its existence. The glow around Rowan was no longer erratic or painful. It flowed with purpose, spiraling around him like streams of living stardust. He felt the energy thrumming through his chest, powerful yet strangely gentle, like it recognized something inside him he had never known himself. Steadied herself, eyes shining as she watched him. "Rowan, the altar accepts you fully. I've never seen it link with anyone like this." Lyra stared, disbelief and relief mixing in her expression. "He's not just an anchor. He's amplifying the star's pulse more efficiently than either of us." Rowan drew a shaky breath, the silver glow settling into a steady rhythm under his skin. He looked at his hands, flexing them slowly. "I can feel where the energy wants to go, like it's guiding me." Before could respond, the let out a low, warping hiss. Its shape hardened, edges sharpening as it gathered itself for another strike. Rowan instinctively stepped forward, positioning himself between the creature and the sisters. "You're not touching them," he warned. The lunged. Rowan moved faster than he thought possible. A burst of silver light flared from his palm, intercepting the creature mid-strike. The impact sent a wave of force rippling across the chamber, shaking loose dust from the ceiling. This attack dissolved on contact, shredded by the brilliance emanating from Rowan's body. Lyra's breath caught. "He's overpowering it." But the creature didn't retreat, it adapted. Its form split into several tendrils, whipping outward in unpredictable flurries. One lashed toward. Rowan reacted instantly. He slammed his hand against the altar floor. A wall of silver energy erupted upward, solidifying just long enough for the tendril to strike it harmlessly before fading like mist. Flinched, but when she opened her eyes, she saw Rowan standing tall, silver flames rising gently from his shoulders. "Stay behind me," he told her. His voice didn't shake, it rang with determination. This form rippled with agitation. Its glowing violet eyes narrowed, focusing on Rowan like he was both a threat and an anomaly. It rushed forward again, faster, more aggressive. Rowan met its charge head-on. The clash was a storm of shadow against starlight. Each strike from the sent cold shocks through Rowan's body, but the altar's energy pushed back with equal force, empowering his movements. He swung his arm in a wide arc, releasing a streak of silver that sliced through the creature. It shrieked, its form unraveling before gathering again, more distorted than before. Lyra grabs hand. "This is our window. You must rebind the star now." Rowan's drawing this attention. Nodded weakly and turned toward the pillar of light. She lifted her hands, her glow flaring as she channeled every ounce of strength she had left. Rowan gritted his teeth as the creature lunged at him once more. He struck back, stepping into the flow of energy the altar fed him. For a moment, he glimpsed something in the corner of his eye, the beam of light above them shifting in color, stabilizing, responding to effort. He redoubled his strikes. This body flickered violently. It thrashed, its form unraveling as Rowan's light pierced it again and again. The chamber trembled, and a deep rumble echoed from the beam overhead, like the star itself was awakening. Let out a cry as her glow intensified. It's reconnecting just a little more. The sensing collapse threw all its remaining strength into one final desperate attack. Its body exploded into a chaotic surge of shadow aiming straight for. Rowan acted before thinking. He sprinted, leaving a trail of silver behind him, and collided with the creature midair. His hands wrapped around its swirling form. Pain seared through him, cold, sharp, suffocating, but he didn't let go. Silver erupted from his body in a blinding burst. The screamed, its form violently tearing apart under the radiance. It struggled, clawed, shrieked, and then shattered into fragments of fatting shadow. Rowan fell to one knee, chest heaving. The chamber fell silent. Collapsed against Lyra, crying with relief. The beam above them glowed stronger, brighter, steadier. Rowan lifted his head slowly. Is it over? Lyra shook her head gently, tears glistening in her eyes. You defeated the fragment, but the core still exists. Crawled weakly toward Rowan, placing a trembling hand over his heart. But you've changed the star's fate, and ours. Rowan looked into her glowing violet eyes, breath ragged. What happens now? The floor beneath them pulsed with radiant light, answering before the sisters could. The floor's radiant pulse grew stronger, rising into a soft, rhythmic thrum that vibrated through the chamber like a heartbeat shared by the three of them. Rowan steadied himself on one shaky knee, the silver glow fading slightly from his skin, though threads of starlight still lingered along his arms and collar. Lyra watched him with expressions that held something deeper than gratitude, something that trembled on the edge between awe and affection. His voice was soft, almost frightened. Rowan, the altar is calling you again. He frowned. Why, I thought we were done. Lyra stepped closer, lifting her hand to the beam of light above them. It shimmered in response, swirling with new colors, silvers and blues intertwined like two energies merging into one. The star is stabilizing, she said quietly. But not fully. A bridge was formed through you. That connection isn't fading. Rowan's chest tightened. Are you saying I'm tied to your star now? Nodded. Yes. And because of that bond, the chamber recognizes you as part of its lineage. It wants to complete the connection. Rowan looked between them, unsure. What does that mean for me? Lyra hesitated before answering. It means the altar believes you were chosen to stand with us, not just today, but in the star's future. It's asking if you will remain linked to our world. Rowan swallowed, stunned. He had expected a reward, maybe a medal, a commendation, a handshake from someone in a clean uniform. Not this. Not a cosmic bond. Not two alien princesses looking at him like he had become part of their fate. His gaze softened. You don't have to decide now. The star can stabilize enough for us to return home even if the bond remains incomplete. But if you choose to complete it, the star will never forget your essence. You will always be welcomed in our realm. And if I do? Rowan asked. Lyra answered truthfully. Then the connection will fade slowly. You will remain human. Your life will continue as it was, except you will carry the memory of this place and of us. He looked at his glowing arms, at the faint shimmer that still moved beneath his skin. Will I survive if I accept the bond completely? Reached out, cupping his hand gently between both of hers. Yes, the altar would never choose a life only to destroy it. You will remain yourself, but more, stronger, connected. Rowan felt something stirring in him, a tug, like the echo of the beam itself calling softly in the back of his mind. A reminder of the courage he had found when the threatened them. A memory of the moment he had stood between darkness and two strangers who had become more than strangers. He took a slow breath. What happens if I say yes? Lyra extended her hand toward the altar. Then step onto the center platform. The star will take what it needs and give what it chooses. Rowan looked at both sisters. Their silver hair glowed softly in the beam's light. Their eyes shimmered with vulnerability and hope. Without him, they wouldn't have survived. Without them, he would never have discovered this part of himself. He stepped forward. Slow, steady, certain. His breath hitched with emotion. Lyra's eyes glistened. Rowan placed both hands on the center of the platform. The altar responded instantly. Light surged upward, engulfing him in a pillar of silver. The chamber filled with swirling winds that carried soft, harmonic tones, as if thousands of distant voices whispered in unison. Rowan felt the energy wrap around him, not burning, not overwhelming, warm, ancient, welcoming. A vision flashed through his mind. A world of floating silver spires, skies filled with drifting constellations, oceans that shimmered with living light. A world waiting for him. A world he now belonged to. When the beam faded, Rowan stood tall, breathing deeply. The shimmer under his skin no longer flickered. It flowed, steady and calm, like it had always been part of him. Reached him first, throwing her arms gently around him. "You chose us." Lyra approached, her voice trembling. "You chose our world and our future." Rowan exhaled, a slow smile forming. "I chose hope, your star and the two of you." Above them the beam glowed once more bright, stable, alive. The star was saved. And Rowan Hale, once just a human captain seeking a simple reward, now stood bonded to a destiny he never imagined, with two luminous princesses at his side and a new world waiting beyond the light.